A lot of people run into this moronic conclusion that what's going on in our country is a battle between the left and the right. It's not. For example, I'm a centrist. If you look at my politics, I am straight down the middle. I do have very socially conservative views, but I think that they're views that are best left to me personally and to people on a personal level. I don't think that society necessarily needs to be ferociously socially conservative. But this is about Helen Thomas, who was originally, I'm going to date myself and people will know I'm old from this. Sometimes I feel as old as Miss Thomas. But she was a White House press correspondent for many, 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 many years, and a respected, people might call a foot soldier for the radical left. She was extremely left-wing. And people, they really respected her. She received all sorts of awards. There is even an award named after her, a journalism award named after her. She is an amazing person. One thing that I personally loved about Miss Thomas, she did not. She was the head of the press correspondence for the White House, but she did not shy away from going right after the president. Okay, she realized that the president was just some guy. You know what I mean? He's a guy that other guys voted for. That's all the president is, and she got that. And she didn't care. She wanted to know things like, why the hell didn't we leave Afghanistan when Obama said we were going to leave Afghanistan? Which is one of the things I see as President Biden's crowning achievements is getting us the hell out of Afghanistan. Now, let's see this. Everybody knows who Joy Behar is, but do they know who Helen Thomas is? And what happened to Helen Thomas got caught voicing her personal opinion about the illegal occupation of Palestine by the Israelis, and it cost her her very long career. I think it's over half a decade-long career.
Career also.
Congratulations.
Yes, and thank you. I mean, when you have a big mouth, you're going to get in trouble. And my mother used to say, good luck with your mouth.
But that's called freedom.
It's called freedom of speech, and I use it every day.
And you pay the price.
You pay the price. Okay, and you did pay the price. Okay, so like those Israel remarks that you made, and I want people to see what it is we're talking about. So let's watch.
Any comments on Israel? We're asking everybody today. Any
Tell
comments
them
on
to get
Israel?
the hell out of Palestine.
Ooh. Any better comments?
Remember, these people are occupied, and it's their land. It's not German, it's not Poland.
So where should they go? What should they do?
They go home.
Where's the home?
Poland.
Now, people don't understand this. When she's saying it's not Germany, it's not Poland, keep in mind that the Israelis are not like the Samaritans or indigenous Jews from the area. These are people that are very, very much mixed with the European stock from the countries, the host populations that they were part of for thousands and thousands of years in Poland, Russia, Germany, England, etc. So what her point is they should go home. That's their home. And the other thing is, you have to understand, the Jewish people actually have two homelands. One in Palestine. Remember, Palestine was Palestine at one time. That's what maps said. It was Palestine. And the other home is in, it's the Jewish Autonomous Oblast, which was created by Joseph Stalin in Russia, so that the Jews would have a place to go where they would be free from Soviet oppression, because remember, the Soviets were not very kind to people with religious views, and especially religious views that encompass every aspect of your life, like the Jewish people are. So Stalin helped them by creating the Jewish Autonomous Oblast in the far east of Russia. So they actually have two homelands. Most people don't even have one. Take in mind that even the Japanese now are being railroaded and hammered and ostracized and everything else because they want to stay Japanese. Well, Japan is Japanese. The Japanese people are Japanese. China is Chinese. England used to be English. Ireland used to be Irish. Okay, Germany used to be German. Italy used to be Italian. Where Miss Helen Thomas here is from, Lebanon, well, she's not from there, but her ancestors were. Lebanon used to be Lebanese, and I think it still is, actually. But my point is that these countries are named after the stock of the people that created these countries, okay? Now, the Jewish people that are in Palestine, because it's not Israel, it's Palestine, let's get that straight. They are not Israelites. They are German Jews, Polish Jews, Russian Jews, okay? And what she's explaining is they need to go home to where they came from. A lot of them, you can watch other documentaries about a lot of these Ukrainian and Russian Jews that came there. They're treated like dog shit by the Israelis because they're not very Jewish at all. They have very little Jewish blood in them. They're predominantly Slavic. They might have a great grandmother or grandfather that was not an observant Jew. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of them are Russian Orthodox or Baptist, or, you know, some of them are not even Jewish by religion, okay? So it's very hard. You have these East Indian Jews that are not Jewish at all by blood. There's very little genetic evidence that they're Semitic. The point that she's making is these people are not the indigenous people of the land. They're oppressing and occupying the indigenous people of the land, and they're getting away with it. Okay, not only are they getting away with it, but they're celebrated for getting away with it. So here's more from Helen Thomas.
So the Jews,
Germany.
the Jews go back to Poland and Germany.
And America and everywhere else.
So when you look at that, when I watched that and when I saw it in the first place, I thought to myself that is an insensitive remark. That Poland and Germany are the exact places that the Jews were put into concentration camps, and that at the very, very least...
We fought World War II. I had two brothers, many relatives.
Right.
And keep this in mind. Think about it. This is what Miss Thomas is pointing out here. Think about how ungrateful these people are. We fought World War II, and like she's saying, her brothers were in World War II. Millions of Americans, millions of Russians, millions of British, and of course millions of Germans, and you never hear about the soldiers or the Chinese or the people oppressed by the Japanese, okay? You don't hear about that. You don't hear about the poor Chinese, okay? And if you do, it's only a way to push this agenda. Or the poor Koreans. The only place I know of that you hear about the poor Koreans is South Korea and North Korea, okay? But you don't hear about it on our side. It's always one group of people. And that whole war, if you listen to Sir Oswald Mosley, that war was an orchestrated war, and it was orchestrated by a specific group of people. And it was an unnecessary war that led to the deaths of millions of Germans, millions of Americans, millions of British, millions of Russians, millions of Japanese. It was a horrible war that was orchestrated by somebody, and we're going to move on.
Hasn't been